I think you all know me, Jan Taylor, your trip organizer, and
You look so much better dressed than what I usually see.
I know. You've seen me
And a hairdo.
not in, a hat and hiking clothes.
Makeup.
Yeah, no makeup on the river, none.
Don't bother.
Yeah, don't even bother. Yeah. Okay, why don't we get started, because we've got all this food waiting.
Now I'm starting.
I'm going to cover the most important thing first, and that's your drinks, your wine, and whatever you're going to bring. I'm packing my wine in a platypus. This actually holds 3 bottles, 3 liters, but I'm nothing but 3 for me. But make sure you pack whatever drinks you're bringing in something that's non-breakable. Cans are fine, boxes of wine are fine. Just understand that the box will disintegrate as it gets wet. So you'll need to write your name on the bag that's on the inside if you can get to it, or at least once it disintegrates, you do that. You can bring any drinks you want as long as it's not breakable. So little mixers in the bags or whatever, that's fine. And we'll have plenty of time to socialize at night.
Where do you, I understand the platypus, but where do you put the cans? What do you do with the cans?
Okay, that's a really good question. What I'm going to do is, I'm bringing a bunch of fuzzy water for myself. Write your name on everything. So if you're bringing cans, put your initials or your name on it, because they're going to get mixed up. Bring them, I would suggest, like one of those cloth grocery bags, something that'll hold together. And when we get to Marble Canyon, the staff there that give us the general orientation of pilots in the trucks or buses, they'll ask for it. They're going to put it in the back of the truck. That will all get put into the boats. That's one of the first things that they'll do. They'll pack it in the boats. It will not be accessible during the day. So if you want to keep any cans or drinks available to have at lunch, get 1 or 2 cans and put it in the drag bag on the boat, or ask your guide on the boat to put it in the drag bag. Drag bag is this big mesh bag loaded with cans of stuff, and ARR is going to be providing sodas and whatnot. Those will also be in the bag. And it's called a drag bag because it drags in the water alongside the boat.
They provide soda, you said?
They're going to provide canned drinks, some canned drinks, I think. There'll also be water available. And at lunch, they'll also have electrolyte replacement powder that you can put in your water if you want. But these bags drag in the water's freezing. It comes out of Glen Canyon Dam near the bottom, so it's cold. It's like, it starts around, around 47, 48 degrees, so it's very cold. That's what you bathe in.
Ice cream. Not for long.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Not for long.
The river's the only place you're allowed to have soap. So I wasn't planning on getting into this now, but I will since we're there. ARR will be giving all of us a mug. I think the new mugs they have don't have handles on them. I got a bunch of old ones, so I bring my own. No, I think they're just, kind of that shape without the handles. I know. So I take the mug down to the water with me with my shampoo and conditioner and soap and my towel, and I stand about ankle deep in the water, and then use the cup to wet down, scrub, and then use the cup to rinse. And I'll dunk my head in the water to shampoo, but then you'll get an ice cream headache doing that if you stay in for too long because it's so cold. But as we go downriver, it does warm up. It's like a degree every 20 to 30 miles.
Great.
So as we get closer, you'll get more used to it. You'll get more used to it.
2,000 miles later, you're okay.
You will get more used to it. Usually by the end of the trip, I can immerse very briefly. And so that is what I do. Make sure I use that mug for a lot of things. It's just very handy.
Jane, is it the same thing for toothpaste?
Yes. Okay. Toothpaste goes in the river. Okay. So anything that isn't just water or pee goes in the river. I mean, pee goes in the river too. That's where you pee. But I'll get into peeing at night. Yes.
Somewhere I read, don't bring a solar shower.
That was my recommendation. You can bring it if you want. It tends to be more of a pain than you can imagine.
But only when it's the day to wash your hair.
It's very nice to have a solar shower. Do you all know what a solar, it's one of those bags that's clear on the top and then it has a black bottom. You fill it with water, you set it on top of the boat during the day, and the sun hits it and warms up the water. The problem is, there's no place to hang it. There is absolutely no place. If there's a tree overhanging the water, that's fine, but there's not.
We could get Big John to stand there.
Yeah, if you can get somebody to hold it for you, and then it has a little spray attachment. And it's lovely, but it's rare that you can really use it. I've brought mine a couple of times, and it's more trouble than it's worth usually. But if you really want that warm water, that's the way to do it.
I have a question, Jen.
Yes.
We've done a lot of backpacking in our use also. It's a backpacker's stove.
Stove, yeah.
Big. And it'll hold a pan for heating water, and I used to use it because we were at 10,000 feet and the water also is very cold up there, and I used to wash my face and wash my hair with
I wouldn't bring a backpacking stove. Yeah, I just wouldn't.
just rough it.
Yeah, that's more trouble than it's worth.
What's a kind of soap? I think something said, is there a certain brand of soap, Dove?
There's no, Dr. Bronner's, anything that's biodegradable. I use the mint tea tree oil liquid soap from Trader Joe's. And even if it's not biodegradable, there is a massive amount of water. So, I wouldn't worry too much about soap. Yes, that's exactly right. You memorize that. That's good. Yeah, so I wouldn't worry so much about it. So.
Something I wanted to mention, I don't know if anyone's interested, but Olay makes these dried cloths, and when you get them wet, they soak up.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty easy to use too.
Where do you
just
get-
point,
Where do you buy it from?
I got it at Fry's.
Now the other option
Then you have to hold
are
it.
wet wipes.
Yes.
And I always bring those, because there may be days, you get in camp late, or it might be cold, you don't have time. Wet wipes are wonderful. But I'll get into that when I show you what I've packed. Okay, so whatever drinks you want for lunch, in the morning, make sure you put those in the dry bag. On the first day, make sure you keep those with you on the bus going to Lee's Ferry. And when we get there, then you can put them in the drag bag on the boat once you get on the
Talk
boat.
about alcohol drinks.
That includes any kind of drinks you want.
So, but if they're serving water at lunch.
Water's always available on the
So
boat
if
and
you
off.
want anything besides water, you need to bring it.
As I said, I think they are going to be bringing some, soft drinks or sodas or juices or whatever. But if you want your own special drinks, bring them along and just make sure you have it with you and don't put it in your bag of all of your drinks on the first day. Carry it with you to Lee's Ferry. Everything else will be packed separately in the boat and won't be available during the day.
Jan, I want to take some lactose-free milk, and if I arrive with that, will maybe put it in the cooler before we take off?
Yes, just make sure you have it with you and let them know and everything on it.
Out of curiosity, Jan, is there ice available?
You want your scotch on ice?
Probably there will be ice available because it's a short trip. It's only a 7-day trip. So they'll probably be able to chip some ice off for you. Just let them know. Okay, now, if you bring hiking sticks, as I do, at Lee's Ferry, you'll probably be told to put them in a pile, and then they will put them on the boat in a place that's accessible for hikes. What I do is I clip mine together with a carabiner and have them locked. That way they're together. So you're welcome to bring hiking sticks. You will not want to use hiking sticks on every hike, though. There are plenty of hikes where you're going to need your hands, and these will be more of a hindrance than a help. So if you wonder about whether you need your sticks or not, let me know. All hikes are optional. Okay, so all hikes are optional. If you have any questions about, whether you think you might or might not be able to do it, you can ask one of the guides. If it's a hike I've been on, I can tell you about it. I've been on probably most of the ones, if not all of the hikes that we'll be doing. Susan?
Hike sticks have to have a cover if you have a point.
Oh, really?
So hikers probably have points. They have to have something.
I
like
lost
that.
mine.
I know you can get these at, I know you can get them at Canyon Outfitters. That's where I got my replacement ones.
But you can go to True Value and get a crutch tip or something.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what
I've never
my
been told
husband
that, but
did.
I've always had tips on mine, so maybe that's why.
So if,
But that's a
if
good point.
you need to make, I never have changed off the ends of my hiking sticks. And mine have that blunt thing. So you want the kind that has a pokey thing?
No, you don't want the pokey thing.
Oh,
you don't want-
Probably what's on mine is
They
good.
don't want them scratching the rocks, probably.
Scratching the rocks or doing any damage.
Or
on the
puncturing
rocks.
the energy of the hook.
And a catastrophic flip out. Yeah.
I just got that.
Why not? That's the fun part of it.
Well, then we would be swimming down the river in our rafts for the rest of the way. I
Okay.
mean, in our life jackets.
Now, hiking shoes. Make sure that whatever hiking shoes you bring are well worn in and comfortable for you. I keep mine in my day dry bag. Now this is a caveat. Your day dry bag is not going to be this big, and your shoes will not fit in it. So I have one where my shoes fit in it, but this is my own. So what I suggest doing, because all the boots are going to go in the boot bags, there'll be a boot bag on each boat. There'll be one probably laid out on the beach when we arrive at Lee's Ferry. The boots get all mixed up, they get wet, they get muddy and sandy, so I highly recommend tying your laces together, putting them in a plastic bag, and I had suggested, colored ribbon or something to identify your dry bags. Take an extra piece of ribbon and put it on the bag for your boots, so you can identify it easily. And I keep my socks in my boots, but when they get all muddy, you don't want them.
So if we have our wet
Water
shoes
sandals.
and they're lug soled, can we use them for?
You can, but there are hikes you're not going to want to use
Okay.
these on.
Well, I've got the hiking sandals with the molded toe.
Oh yeah, like Keen's?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great.
Would those do then?
Yes,
So
those
we have to
certainly
bring
would.
those and hiking shoes. So
Uh,
the Keens should be sufficient?
Yeah, that would be sufficient, or one
Perfect,
less pair of
that's-
shoes to
yeah.
deal with.
Good.
Just
Mine-
understand that they'll
These
get
are
wet.
Keens, but you said that's probably not a good enough tread to hike in, did you?
Plus it's not protected in the front.
you don't have any
yeah,
toe
you need the
protection.
toe
Yeah,
protection
I
too.
would, there are
Okay, 'cause
plenty of
I
hikes
don't
I
like
wouldn't,
the
I would not
closed-in
use
toes.
those on. Yeah, I wouldn't hike in those for most of the hikes.
Okay.
Maybe some of the short hikes or the wet hikes.
Okay,
Did
is
you
there
get-
waterproof?
Did you get the toe
Well,
protection?
it's not very
Yeah.
waterproof because your feet
Okay,
get
good.
wet.
No, well, the shoe, I mean, is it gonna fall apart?
No. Yeah, these are my daily
Take big
shoes.
luggage.
No.
But I've gone through this is probably my third pair of river sandals, because the first two were uncomfortable in some respect or another, or they would frequently get sand between the strap of my foot and rub raw spots. For some reason, these don't. I can hike in these, but most hikes, most trails I will not use these. I'll get hiking shoes and socks.
So you wear those in the boat?
In the boat, yeah, these are my boat shoes.
Yeah.
And I get a cool little tan.
But I would bring a second pair of shoes, some sort of shoe.
I have 3 pairs of shoes actually.
Because if your shoe fails,
Yeah.
Yeah, tennis shoes.
I have,
We'll bring some.
I have
Duct
my,
tape.
I have my river sandals.
it's hard to do the toe thong.
Now, my hiking shoes are trail runners, they're all mesh on top. So they dry out quickly and they drain quickly. In fact, I just ordered a pair of new ones and I hope I have enough time to break them in. We'll see how they work. Yeah, Hassan.
How big is our day dry bag?
Uh,
That's yours, but how big is
Yeah, I
the
was
one?
thinking that even looks
it's
like-
probably about as tall as this, but about half the width.
Okay.
So you won't,
But we don't have to put our boots in there, though.
you do not, and
They
they
do.
probably won't fit. Okay.
So the duffel bag that we bring with our personal items will go inside of that kind of?
No.
Oh, no.
No, the dry bag you will get at Lee's Ferry will already have your sleep kit in it.
Okay.
So it will have a sleeping bag, a sheet, a little camp pillow, a tarp, and you will put your duffel, your personal duffel, on top of that.
Okay.
And then what I highly recommend is taking the tarp out first, putting your duffel in, and putting the tarp over your stuff. It's a plastic tarp. So if any water gets in, your stuff will be a little bit more protected with the plastic tarp over it. But I'll get into that in a little bit too. Okay.
Let me ask you before you go on, you said you brought 3 pair of shoes.
Yes, I have my river shoes.
Right.
I have my hiking shoes, which are lightweight and mesh on top. And I have a pair of lightweight camp shoes, which I will show you when I go through my bag. Because I don't wear these around camp. They're going to be wet and not going to dry.
You're gonna wear them for the next 6 days anyway.
Yes, yes. Okay, what to wear on the boat?
Is
This
something
my
burning in the
typical
kitchen?
garb. Pardon?
Something burning in the kitchen?
Yeah, okay, getting back to what I'm going to wear on the river. This is my daily garb. A hat with a retainer. Now, if you're going to wear a baseball cap, they have these hat clips that have clips on both ends. You can put a clip it to your hat, and the other end you clip to your shirt. So you don't lose it. So a hat with a retainer, good to bring to. I bring an extra hat in case I lose one. Sunglasses with some kind of retainer strap, and I also have an extra pair of sunglasses in my dry bag. And this is my daily garb. A tankini, 2-piece bathing suit. Of course, men you can just put on. And I have, these are quick dry shorts. I like to keep the tops of my legs covered so they don't get sunburned. Anyhow, so I have 2 sets of these, and I alternate them. So that's my daily clothing, and I also have something else that I wear just to keep covered and
Let me
safe.
see your tankini.
You'll see it on the
I can't
river.
I can't find anything.
Land's End. This is the top one.
Penny's has got everything on sale. I
Yeah,
got
next
swimsuits.
month.
Now for ladies, now I know Susan suggested if you have a one-piece, you can do that. And when you pee, just pull the crotch to the side. Something you guys probably never even considered.
I learned how to do that when you used to have those blouses that snapped.
Yeah.
The crotch.
However, if you're going to use the groover for any solid waste, a one-piece bathing suit is not as convenient. You can't just pull the crotch side. You have to take the whole top in. So I prefer the tankini. Now men, and I've seen, watch, just happen to glance to drive, what the guides do, what the male guides do. And they usually have the loose-fitting swim trunks, the shorts. They'll just pull the leg aside. You've probably done that.
That's impressive.
Okay. Oh, and one other thing I wear on the boat is a very lightweight hoodie.
Very lightweight what?
Hoodie.
Oh.
So, my daughter just got this for me. So this will keep you well protected. It's lightweight, dries quickly, and it makes you look like a guide.
So you don't wear a rain jacket on the boat?
Now in the morning, if it's coolish and we're gonna hit rapids right away, I will put on my rain gear.
I was gonna say, because
So
I
you were-
thought splash suits were a big deal.
It is a big deal.
So you got
It's
splash pants and splash jacket first thing in the morning.
frequently. And I will show you what mine look like.
And that goes in the day bag.
I put that in, yeah, this goes in the day bag unless I'm wearing it right away. Let's go over the rest of what I have in the
And
day
are you
bag.
putting each of these in a plastic bag to protect them from getting wet?
The roll top bags will sometimes get water in them. But that's not the only reason I do that. The other reason I do that is that I'm a compulsive organizer, as you probably know. So I have all my bags labeled. So I know where to find everything and what bag goes where. And
You take the fun out of it.
I know. Now, most people I've seen just shove all their clothes in, and then when they get to camp, they have to empty the whole bag out to find what they want.
So when you show up naked, you're in trouble.
That means it was at the bottom bag, you still can't find it.
Okay, so this is what else I keep in my day bag. Oh, the other things I'll have with me on the boat, I forgot, let me back up. Water bottle with something you can clip to the boat. And what I will often clip my dry boxes, my camera box, and a water bottle together on the boat and attach to something right by you. So you want water by you all the time. And the guides are going to really stress drinking water because it's very dry down there. And if you start getting headachy or irritable, you've become dehydrated. So they want you to check the color of your pee and make sure it's not too dark.
I have to pee in a bourbon and have to look at it.
Definitely.
They give me a little cut.
I gotta watch it. I don't know.
And the other thing I have, now
Did you
you,
say that's a camera?
this is a dry box for camera.
Okay.
Camera. And this keeps it.
So if you want to have your camera with you when you're on the boat,
You need something
Yeah.
to keep it in that'll keep it dry.
And that probably floats.
I'm not sure. It's kind of heavy.
Let's try it.
I've got this little float, but this isn't enough to keep it afloat.
Fill your bathtub.
When might you, so if we pulled over while we were rafting or something, then you might want to take pictures. I was trying to think when in the actual rafting process you get that out of there.
Oh, it's easy.
Okay, but what if you,
Get your camera.
what if you get splashed
shoot
really
it.
big? Right. Probably would only
You're
do that.
going to hear the rapids before we get to them.
Okay, otherwise it's real smooth sailing.
Yeah, it's mostly flat water. Yeah, the way the Colorado is designed, well, made, it's called pool and drop. So you get a lot of flat water, that's the pool, and then the rapid, that's the drop.
Okay.
And then a long pool of water, drop, pool, drop, pool, drop.
so you keep that on your water, hooked with your water on the boat.
Yes,
the camera.
I have this next to me all the time. I have this next to me all the time.
Bunch of those
And we
gallon
have
bags.
our, they don't do ammo cans anymore, they have.
No,
day
they don't
bags.
have ammo cans
They
anymore.
do day bags.
Yeah, it's just a day bag.
So can we carabiner to our day bags?
Sure.
The water and.
Of course, yeah. Caribbean, beaner it anywhere where it's convenient for you.
Because our day bags are right next to us.
It may not be right next to you, but it'll be very close. Because they're going to want, the guides are going to want the boats packed a certain way so they can see. These are very large boats, and the duffel pile in the middle gets pretty tall.
When we're on the boat, are we attached? Do we not?
You're not
don't-
attached.
I mean, you
We
don't
sit
get up
along
and
the side
walk, but I mean,
tubes.
you don't get up and.
No, you're not going
around.
to be able to get up and walk
You just,
around.
wherever you
Yeah.
are is where you are.
You
and
pick
hope
your
you
seat
can-
when you get on the boat, and that's your seat for the day, pretty much.
Okay.
Unless, people are willing to
Sure,
change.
sure.
The wettest places on the boat are right in front.
What?
The wettest places are right in front, and the driest are in the back. So now this is something else that I found recently that is great. If you're gonna, get off the boat for lunch or something, and you're gonna want to do a little short hike, carrying this around is kind of a pain. So, I got this great little deal. Yeah, and I have hands-free.
Did you find that
That's
locally?
hilarious.
Yeah, REI has.
REI has these. You could probably get it at Montezuma Castle. I'm seeing them at all the national park visitor centers. So you may even get it locally there, or, check with the outfitters in the area, candy
What's it,
outfitters.
does it have an official name?
Well, it's made by Chico. You know the Chico bags?
Yes.
That's
what that- And this folds up into itself,
they're
into
great.
a little, into its pocket.
Yes.
And it even has, where is it, a little carabiner? Oh,
You're inspired.
yeah, there it is.
I have one that only do dog walks, I think.
Any
So, yeah,
chance
this is
they're on
great.
Amazon?
Probably.
I just wanted to know what to search for.
Chico bag.
Chico bag,
Chico
yes.
bag.
Chico bag.
Yes.
And they have them in REI.
Okay.
But you can probably find it locally.
So Jan,
Yeah.
for the day hikes, not a little fanny pack?
Oh, well, let me continue, okay? So, also on the boat, I've got my own little waterproof fanny pack. Most people don't have anything like this, but because I've done so many trips, it was just so convenient for me to get one of these. This is online, it's made by Seal Line. Okay, I got this little waterproof fanny pack online, it's made by Seal Line. And these are, I haven't seen any others that I really like. It's got a little zipper thing, so I keep my sunscreen lip balm in here, so it's convenient. But if you don't have anything like this, you'll keep it in your backpack or your day pack, just, someplace where you can get to easily. I've got my little sun gloves that I wear during the day on the boat, Kleenex, sunscreen, little face spritzer, comb,
Got a hair dryer in there?
no hair dryer, comb, hand lotion.
Or taking it home.
Now, hand lotion is so important. Your hands are going to be wet and dry all day. Whenever you wash your hands, you're going to be washing it in bleach water, and the guides really stress a lot of hand washing. Because if somebody gets sick, everybody gets sick, and you don't want to get sick down there. So during the day I use non-greasy hand lotion. This is what I use. I happen to like it a lot. But use any hand lotion you have or you like. This is called No Crack. And it says day use on it, which means that it's not greasy. What I use at night is the very greasy night use No Crack. But you'll probably have your own favorite stuff to use. This stuff is real greasy and really thick. Every night I slather it on my hands and feet, heels especially, and go to sleep with gloves and socks on. It doesn't matter how hot it is. If you get heel cracks or finger cracks, they're just so painful, and you're going to have to use your fingers all the time for the clips on your dry bags, if you're putting up a tent, doing that. And if you have finger cracks, ooh, it's awful. So I use a lot of hand cream.
What kind of gloves do you sleep in?
Oh, little cheap gloves. I have little yarn ones.
You can buy
I just-
100% cotton ones like Walgreens.
Yeah, any cheap gloves at all.
Do you
Any cheap
sleep
gloves
in
at
them?
all. I sleep in them, yeah.
You sleep in gloves?
Oh,
Oh, you
no.
put the stuff on your hands?
Yeah,
and then
and then
keep
put
it.
gloves over, yeah.
Where can you get the no crack?
Either online, and it's made by, who is it? Dumont Company in La Crosse, Wisconsin, D-U-M-O-N-T. But you can also get it up in Flagstaff, at the Flagstaff Pharmacy. This is in the medical building just on the north side of the medical center. There's a little pharmacy inside there, and they carry that.
You guys can email me and I can get some for you.
I swear by this. The last few trips I've had when I've done the gloves and socks at night, no cracks. Don't use
And
it
it's
on
called
your-
Flagstaff Pharmacy?
It's the Flagstaff Pharmacy. It's in the medical building, just on the north side of the medical center at Forest and Beaver.
What's in the little tiny thing
It's
on
on
here?
the list.
Oh, this is my hand
For us.
lotion. I just, it's a little plastic thing. I keep it in here. I fill it as I need to.
And you wear that on the boat? As
Yeah, I'll
you
put
work?
it on frequently during the day.
I mean, the whole thing, the pack. You
Oh,
wear
my
that-
little fanny pack.
You wear that on, when you're on the boat, and then you always
Yeah.
have it handy. so.
Always, yeah.
If you had one that
But if you
wasn't,
have
I would
pockets,
say if you had one that wasn't waterproof, you wear it under.
oh,
your-
it doesn't matter. If you have pockets, I'm the only one I've ever seen with one of these. But I'm.
Because you're you.
Yeah. So what else I keep in here? I keep dental floss and Sting E's. This I recommend that everybody carry. You don't, well, this is an old bottle. It's now in a stick form. It's like a little tube. This is an old one. I do not bring any insect repellent at all. Bugs love me, but down there it's just not an issue. The real issue are the red ants and the harvester ants. And if you get one caught between your foot and your sandal strap or the footbed, and you feel a pinch, you better believe that it wasn't a rock that got caught in there. It is a red ant. And if you get this stuff on the bite within 2 or 3 minutes, it will neutralize the formic acid. It's called Sting Ease, and you can barely even read that anymore. It doesn't look like this anymore, but they carry it at the pharmacies. If you get this stuff on it, within 2 to 3 minutes, no pain. Otherwise, you will be in horrendous pain for hours. It was just the worst bite I've ever had in my life. I've been bitten several times.
I checked at Walgreens and they don't carry it,
They don't.
but I haven't checked CVS.
Well, they may have other brands.
We just bought, for Yavapai Search and Rescue, we use these little packets that are bite packets that you, like the little towelettes.
Yeah.
You peel them open and rub them on, and you get them on Amazon.
Oh, it's probably the
If
same
they're called
stuff.
Stingies,
It is, that's Stingies.
same brand, and
Yeah,
it's just in a
Stingies.
packet.
Yay for Amazon.
Yeah.
Got my list going here.
Okay, so, also what I have in my little day bag, I have my ribbon right away that I'm going to put on my dry bag as soon as we get to Lee's Ferry. I have my own dry bag, but they'll also provide a sleep kit for me in the big blue bags. So I'm gonna identify it right away, so when we get to camp, I can see my pink.
So that's your color?
This is my color.
Okay, make sure we don't pick the same color.
Yeah. So pink is mine. I'll put this aside.
Does anybody get it? I was looking for mosquito netting on Amazon, you know, the
You
things
don't
over
need
your
mosquito
head.
netting.
Yeah, it came up on something.
Yeah, you don't need that. Okay, so
Amazing that brands
Reindeer,
can find them.
reindeer.
I'm gonna get to that right now. What to have in your day dry bag. Okay, this is my day dry bag.
And this is different from a drag bag.
The drag bag is the
Bag is
mesh
in the
bag
water.
that it hangs in the water. So you will get a day dry bag when you get to Lee's Ferry. You'll get a life jacket and you'll get your big sleep kit that you'll put your duffel in. Anything you want with you during the day goes in your day dry bag or in your pockets or in your backpack. If your backpack or whatever you're going to be hiking with does not fit in the day dry bag, you can clip it to the boat. Just understand it will get wet. So this is what I keep in my day dry bag. I got a little cool towel. It's the Arizona State Parks.
I have one now too.
Yes, you do. Because I work at Red Rock. You dip this in the water, put it around your neck. See, it's nice and good. My camera case for hiking. Now, I'm not going to carry this when I'm on a hike, so I've just got a little camera case. I shift the camera into this. Now, I've seen more and more people using their smartphones as cameras on the river. Just make sure it's in a waterproof container.
And make sure you get it packed up before you leave.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
This is a waterproof container, and, you know, I ordered it from Amazon, but they have you try it out for
Yeah,
half an
that was
hour
really
in the
interesting.
water, like in a sink or something, to make sure it is waterproof.
Is it an OtterBox?
No.
Mine's a bag. I just got two of
It's
them.
a
and they came with
life-proof.
a
Now,
lanyard.
this is an OtterBox.
Okay, my thing from my phone is a bag thing, and it came with a lanyard, and it said put a Kleenex in it and seal it up and put it in water for 30 minutes. And if the Kleenex gets wet, don't put your phone in there. But
Okay.
it's got locks on the top that I can't unlock. I haven't figured it out yet.
Now, I've got this for a smartphone. I got it, I think, at REI, and then I got it before I read reviews. And from the reviews, it isn't all that reliable. But my sister used this exact same thing on one of our river trips a few years ago, and it was fine. And it's got a strap. You can.
Mine's a little heavier duty.
Yeah,
It
this
came
is-
in a 2-pack.
It's got. I don't know, this would not fit over my arm. That's for sure. But if anybody would like to borrow this and try, I haven't tried it out, so I can't vouch for it. But if you'd like to borrow it for the phone. Now, the problem with Pat, with your thing is that there's no way to tether it to you. So you've got to be really careful not to drop it. Yeah, that's the main thing. Okay, so what else is in my day
That's a good
drive?
point.
Tony, wait a minute.
It will fit in the sling.
Okay,
With
so,
my water bottle.
Yeah, so this particular sling does have a little pocket. It's not very big, but you could probably. But see, I'm gonna have this in my day dry bag during the day. I'm not gonna have it out on the boat with me. So what else I have in my day dry bag? Most important things. My splash pants and splash jacket. Now, there is a distinction, I know it says rain jacket and rain pants on these. There is a distinction between rain gear and paddle gear. Splash paddle gear, I use them interchangeably. Rain gear is for rain coming down on you from above. Splash or paddle gear, you're expected to have water coming at you from every direction. So every opening has a seal or gasket of some sort. So most of you, this may be the only time you ever go river rafting. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend investing in something like this. But this has, this is at the waist, cinches at the waist, and Velcro closures at the ankles. Nothing is going to get past this. These are probably the fourth or fifth pair I bought over the years, because eventually the seams do start leaking a little bit. But these are so far the best ones I've had.
Yeah, zipper pockets on there?
There is one zipper pocket on this particular one, right in front.
Because if they're open pockets, they're probably gonna fill with water.
No, this is not an open pocket. Nothing has ever gotten.
Box has those little things you pinch and pull up with elastic. The ones I borrowed, it's like our hats, you know, tighten up.
It's called support tape.
Yeah, whatever. So that will work too, right?
Yeah. Now, if you have just, regular rain gear, hiking rain gear, they're not going to be closed at the ankles, but, if you want to be careful about not letting water in, you can get a little Velcro strapping and put it around there. And then this is my rain jacket. This one does not have a hood. I know they recommend a hood, but this one doesn't. So it's got the closure around the neck and the wrists, and it's got a cinch at the waist.
Splash jacket or rain jacket?
This is a splash jacket.
I got my splash jacket at the Columbia outlet store in Anthem, down the valley, on sale.
Good for you.
How much was it?
I think $30, 29 something.
Gosh. Now,
Bright pink, I will be.
You'll find her.
I won't even bother lost forever.
now what I found is that the less expensive they are, the less breathable they are.
Yeah, she said it would be hot.
Yeah, so it's not breathable.
The difference between this setup and then the rain suit, so if we're out hiking and something lighter weight, do you recommend both? I mean, that's for.
Oh, I would, that's overkill. Now, I have the Marmot rain jacket and pants that, I've used hiking. But I'm not bringing that. This is what I'm bringing.
We're counting on good weather.
I hope so. I certainly hope so. Okay,
If it's that
But you-
warm, we could probably hike in the rain, it won't bother us.
No.
You'd probably feel good.
Okay.
But you could wear that, you could bring your, I have a Marmot too, rain jacket. I
Yeah.
could use that instead of a splash
Oh,
jacket.
of course, yeah. If you're not going to be doing a lot of river rafting, I wouldn't invest in something like this, but I've done a lot of river rafting. Your river guide. Now, some of you may not care to know what's coming up or where we are on the river, but I always have a river guide with me. And you can, if you don't have a river guide, you can get one at Marble Canyon in a gift shop. They'll have those. This one, I think, is the best. Now, the one that ARR recommends is the Belknap book, which I have. I think this one's better. This is by Larry Stevens. And they may have these at Marble Canyon, but they'll definitely have the Belknap. So it shows the river, and it shows each river mile, and it indicates where the rapids are and what class the rapid is, depending on what water level. And speaking of water level, this may not mean anything to you at this point, but in September, you can pass it around if you
That's
want.
like a trip ticket.
For the month of September, the water release from Glen Canyon Dam is going to vary between 8,500 and 14,500 cubic feet per second, which is not huge. 8,500 is pretty low water. I've been on it as low as 8,000. And I've been on it as high as 20,000. So it's not huge water. The reason for the variation is because it's water released through Glen Canyon Dam, depending on power demands in Phoenix. Okay, so what else I have in my day bag, or what else I will have on the boat? I've got my hiking shoes and socks.
Do you actually get this book out during the day to read it, or
Yeah.
as opposed to leaving it in your night bag and
Oh
just
yeah, I
checking?
have it with me in my day bag so I can see where we are. Yeah. It doesn't do a lot of good in your night bag.
How much advance warning will you have, like if you don't have your rain gear on, but you know rapids are coming?
You can all, well,
The guys will
you're not going to want to have it if it's hot.
I know,
You don't want
but
the
how much advance warning to put them on?
ask the guides ask your guide to tell you if there's a big rapid coming
Okay.
up, if you want time to get into this.
Okay.
But if it's hot, you're gonna wanna get wet.
I
It
agree.
sounds like they're off and on, off and on. They're off when this water's calm, if it's gonna
Well,
be pretty warm down there. in September.
Usually, if it's cool in the morning, if I know we're gonna be in rapids right away, I'll put this on before I get on the boat. And then as soon as it warms up, I take it off and put it in my day bag, and
So
I'm
we
done
look
with
to
it.
see what Jan puts on in the morning. Yeah.
Don't go by me, I don't like being cold.
So you don't put it back on every time you go through the rapids unless it's
Oh, no.
like November.
Yeah, well, I haven't rafted in November. I've rafted every month, except November, December, January, and February.
So it's pretty warm down in September.
It usually is, but you just don't know. So, I
So
mean,
the sun's not gonna hit us probably until midday anyway, right?
oh yeah, we'll get sun early on.
Right away.
Yeah. Now Marble Canyon, the first 60 miles,
We should
it
get-
will be cool and shady in the morning because it's a north-south canyon with high walls.
Until we
So-
get east-west, yeah.
Yeah, so when we get on the east-west part of the canyon, you get sunrise. So these are crappy shoes. These are my old shoes, and fortunately the tread is mostly worn out, but these are gonna take a beating down there, so I don't.
Those you're using.
And these are all mesh on top.
Those are your hiking shoes?
This is my Grand Canyon shoes. I just ordered a new pair that I'm hoping will be really comfortable right away.
But you like it.
But those are not going in the boot bag?
These are my hiking shoes.
Those are for your.
These will go in the boot bag.
Okay.
Okay, now mine won't go in the boot bag, because mine's big enough for me to keep them with me. But
But there
yours
are
will go in the
wet
boot
hikes
bag.
and there are dry hikes, and that's the reason she has these
Yeah.
for her wet hikes.
I was gonna say, that have hardly any tread at all.
Yeah, there's enough.
Okay, so just an old beater pair of tennis shoes would work?
Oh, you could, but you want some lug sole. I wouldn't recommend tennis shoes. I
Well,
know
I
they
don't
say-
mean flat tennis, I mean
Yeah.
tennis shoes with something like that.
Yeah. If you're
Like
comfortable
yours.
hiking in them. Yeah, might have more tread than
I've
yours.
got an old beater pair of New Balance
It's up
that
to
are so
you.
comfy.
It's up to you.
Jan?
It's up to you.
So when you take if you have your splash gear on, you just shake it out and then if water comes off, you can put it in your bag and it won't get everything else wet.
Well, if it's wet, I won't put it in the Ziplocs because it'll get the inside of it. I'll just shove it into my day bag. Now, when we stop for lunch, I may tie it onto a tree to dry it out, or lay it on a rock or something if there's not one. Okay, now backpack. I just bring a little one. A lot of people will bring fanny packs, some won't bring a pack at all. But, okay, so this is the backpack I use. It's just a small one, Camelback. I already have it filled with water, and I don't put much in it. The guides will accompany us on all hikes. They'll have a first aid kit, so I don't really bring first aid stuff. I have extra sunscreen in here. Oh, you know what I'll do is I'll just shove this little thing in here too, or take stuff out. I've got some energy gel. This is the new form of stains. It looks like this now.
How long is the typical hike gonna be?
It could be anywhere from half a mile to 4 miles. The one 4-mile hike, I know we won't do. It's too long for a short trip. So probably between half a mile and 2 miles.
I'm just trying to think of my water, how much water I need, that's all.
So 2 miles.
I keep 3 liters in this.
So you just keep your water in that when you pack it in your dry
Well,
bag?
no, I just have it, I already have it filled with water in the morning before I get on the boat.
Okay.
So if I've gone on a hike and I've used a lot of water, when I get to camp, I'll fill it up so it's ready.
So you just keep water.
So I
in
have
there all
that
the time.
and this. Because this isn't real available to me, this is in my
Right,
bag.
right.
Yeah,
So you just keep water in that all the time?
yeah.
Okay.
And you
Jan, do you have any hikes where you have to wade through water?
Yes.
that
Now,
never get wet?
there's a couple of hikes where I will start out, and these if I know I'm going through water right away, at Deer Creek, and chances are we're going to do the Deer Creek hike. I've never not done it. You have to cross a stream to get to the start of the trail. So I will wear these, and I will carry my boots with me, and when I cross the stream, then I put my boots and socks on, and then I'll just clip these to the back of my pack, because when I get up to the Deer Creek patio, it's a beautiful little stream you can lie on. I don't know where these are going.
So you're wading below the level of the pack.
Yes,
Pack's not gonna get soaked.
yeah, there's only one place where I leave my pack behind if we hike Saddle Canyon. And that's kind of a long, steep, dry hike out in the sun at first. I'll be in my boots. But then we get to this part where we have to go through the stream. And for me, the water can be up to here. So I'll leave my pack and my boots behind because it's just a short walk through the stream. You climb up these rocks, and because I'm short, I need a lot of help with the guides to get up these rocks because you're going up a waterfall, and then there's a beautiful waterfall.
Just one interjection. I think toe-protected Keens are probably the best solution for just about any situation you can be in.
Toe protection is good. Yeah.
You can wade in the water, you can be hiking, whatever.
Okay, so what else I have, I carry with me, just in case.
But I know what that's for.
I've never needed it in the Grand Canyon, fortunately. Some toilet paper and Ziplocs, so we do not bury toilet paper at all. And I have an ankle brace because I'm inclined to sprain my ankle now and then. But I have plenty of room in here because there are hikes where we will be packing lunch in the morning after breakfast and carry the lunch with us. So make sure you have a little room to carry lunch.
Do we have access to a dry bag during the lunchtime or no?
Your day dry bag, yes. Yeah. You will always have access to your day dry bag. Your big dry bag, think of it as your checked luggage. You will not have access to it at all during the day. But your day dry bag is your carry-on luggage.
This is about half of that size.
And we will be responsible for taking it on and off the boat.
Yes.
Because it is your carry-on.
Anything you bring on the boat, you must take off. When we get to camp in the afternoon, you take everything that you carried with you on the boat. Your day dry bag, your water bottle, anything that you have with you.
Hiking shoes doesn't have to be there, no? There's a room for
No, you won't have room for your hiking shoes in your day dry bag. So you'll put those in the boot bag.
Can you say that again about carrying your lunch?
There will be a couple, possibly, hikes where we pack our lunch after breakfast, and then you drop it in a bucket. And then when we get to the place where we're going to hike and bring our lunch with us, then you put it in your pack.
And for those who don't hike?
For those who don't hike, you still have to get your lunch out of the bucket, so you have it with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you'll only be eating on shore, those people, won't they?
Yeah. Okay,
And
yes.
why are you taking a fanny pack and a backpack, a hiking backpack?
Because my camelback doesn't fit in this.
Okay, and you just wear that on the river?
Yeah, I just wear that.
All right, thank you.
Now, these are going to be the type of dry bags that you have with a roll top closure. So I'm going to show you how to roll it in the best possible way. So I'm going to do it up here, but you're going to want to use your knees on the ground. So you're going, in fact, what I'll do is, you want to all be able to see. So you want to press all the air out of it. Basically, you're going to use your knees to do that. And then you want to get at least 3 good rolls in. And you want to make sure there's no wrinkles on the sides, because the wrinkles is where water comes in. So you get as many rolls as you possibly can, at least 3.
And how big, ours is gonna be about half
That height.
The day bag will be about half this size, and that's your carry-on luggage. I think they have the same kind of roll top, and then your big duffel, your big dry bag, the big blue one that you get, will also have the roll top. And that's the one you want to be really sure you get as much air out as you can, and get as many rolls as you can, and not let the top wrinkle as you roll it.
Otherwise you sleep in a wet sleep.
You could.
So
But
that's
that's why when you do your duffel bag, you put the tarp on top of everything before you roll it closed.
And Jim, that bag is the one that you said will be about the size of 1.5 grocery bags?
Yeah, it could be more. But
But our duffels would be that big and then there's still room for a
Yeah,
bedding.
well, on the ARR website, they give a recommendation for dimensions of your
Yeah, it
personal
said
duffel.
12 by,
24.
yeah, 12 by 12 by 24.
It's about 60 liters. Most duffel bags are doing in liters, so
How many liters?
it's about 60 liters.
Patagonia, it's the 60 liter, it's actually
Okay.
25 inches. but
Now,
it's
you want to make sure it's a soft-sided one, no hard sides.
So you can have two of them, one for the day and one for night.
Well, you have the big dry bag that your sleep kit is in, and you put all of your personal gear in, and that's going to be gone for the day.
And for day also we can have a small duffel.
And then
bag.
you will also have the small day bag, and anything you need during the day, you put in there. Your rain gear, your sunscreen, lip balm, your river guide, and anything else you
So,
want.
so the big dry bag is bigger than your duffel, obviously, because it's got the sleep.
Oh,
kit
yeah,
and
it's
everything.
quite a bit bigger.
Yeah.
Now, this is my personal dry bag, and it's,
Is that about the size that we'll?
No, that's bigger.
yeah, this is different. This is designed like a duffel bag.
But it's a dry bag.
So it opens like this, and it's easy to get
Duffel
to.
bag.
The bag you're going to get is like a big giant grocery bag with, you know,
Big sack,
it'll
like a
probably
big
be
sack.
about, when it's completely open, about so high. So when you're fishing for stuff in it, you're down like that. That's why I got this.
Okay. If I were to take, I'm gonna plan on taking a camera like that,
Uh-huh.
would that fit in the day bag?
I wouldn't put a camera like that in the day bag. I would get a camera box for you.
Well, I have a separate dry bag I could take. Remember I
Okay,
asked you about
but
that.
if it's
Would you be better off?
if it's an expensive camera, I'd recommend a dry box that has.
Those
Oh,
are
okay.
several $1,000s. That,
Oh, you can bring a separate dry bag, sure.
okay, that's all okay.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Now, Bob brought this over. He got this picture. And this is a great bag. But you don't have to have your own dry bags.
TJ
So,
Maxx, TJ
this
Maxx.
is a nice sized day bag. In fact, you'll probably be able to fit your shoes in this. And it's got backpack straps. Mine has backpack straps as well. And notice, whoops,
TJ
now the locking carabiners have a twist lock, so nothing's going to open that. So when I clip something to the boat, I want to make sure it's a locking carabiner. That's why they recommend two locking
You can
carabiners.
buy those.
Do they need to be that large?
No, they don't need to be that large. They do not need to be that
They didn't recommend locking, they just said carabiners.
large. Okay, well, they used to recommend.
Did they say how
locking.
many?
Jan, would you say that the day bag is the size of this peak bag down here? Their day bag that they give us?
No, it's probably, bigger? Yeah, it's probably about this size. Maybe a little bit, it's probably, no, it's bigger than this. There's pictures of it on the ARR website. There's a little video as well.
It's just so nice for us to have our vision, so. the
Yeah.
day bag
No,
might
it's
be a
bigger
little
than
bit bigger
that.
than that. And are you putting your duffel bag in?
This is my duffel bag. This is what I'm bringing.
Oh, now, what?
I'm gonna have a sleep kit as well,
Okay, so they give you a sleep kit,
but I bring my own dryer.
and you could bring your own dry bag. Oh, I got a dry bag.
So I'm gonna shift some of the stuff in my dry bag to the big sleep kit dry bag, so they're both lighter weight.
Okay, now let me ask you something before you move on to the next thing, and I'm sorry if I'm.
That's okay.
But this has been on my mind.
Okay.
I pictured on the boat, I've got my swimming suit on, I've got my, whatever I wear over that, my rain gear on, and this is what I'm on the boat in. But and then I get off to hike. So when I get off to hike, do I take off my rain gear?
You take off your
my
rain
swimming
gear.
suit, obviously
Yeah.
take rain gear off, but, you don't change clothes to hike. You should have, I
Right.
didn't understand.
Okay.
I've got my swimming
When-
suit on,
when
I'm
you-
gonna go hiking.
Okay, I always wear my swimsuit and shorts and my hoodie.
Yeah, that,
When I put my rain gear on, it's on top of all that.
okay.
And then I do not wear rain gear when I hike.
Right.
So I
right.
take that off when I'm on the boat.
So
shove it in
whatever
my
you
day.
have on under your rain gear, that's what you hike in.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
taking a couple pair of what they call board shorts.
Yeah, that's
They're
right.
like
Fine
men's,
board shorts.
you know what a board short is?
Yes.
It's like a man's bathing suit.
Right.
You could get them at the workout area at, believe it or not, Walmart. They don't have an interior liner like a man's swimming suit.
Right.
But they're like, real thin.
Yeah, I know exactly.
They're like
I'll look over Walmart. Yeah, okay, I'll look again, but that was my thing, it's like, okay, if I've got my bathing suit on, I've got my rain gear on, obviously you don't wear rain gear all the time.
Oh, no.
Either, so that's cool then.
Yeah,
But then when you get, whatever you have on and you get off that boat to go hiking, that's what
that's
you
what
wear.
you have on, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not gonna have
Okay.
time to change.
Yeah, which, yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't make sense to me,
Yeah.
that's why I'm
Yeah.
asking, yeah.
So I have,
You have the entire day's clothes on for the whole day.
so I have two
I like that.
I have two bathing suits, two shorts, and I alternate them. That's it.
Okay,
But I'll get into what I also have in my
that clears
big
that up for
bag.
me, thank you.
Now, Susan asked a question this morning that was a very good question. Do you need neoprene socks, gloves, wetsuit, anything like that? I'm gonna say no.
So they're not gonna have duckies for us to.
There will not be duckies now. Yeah, sorry.
Do your feet get cold when you're sitting there on the boat and there's water in them?
Well, yeah, if it's 40 degrees, if the air temperature's 40 degrees.
I was
yeah.
wondering that.
I've done quite a few trips in very early spring, like late March, early April, and it can be really freezing. And what I found is with the neoprene socks, my feet get colder wearing those than if I were not wearing socks at all. Because the neoprene, it's wetsuit material, it gets wet. And if the air is cold, it just gets cold. So I don't recommend bringing any of that sort of thing in September. And I've never brought a wetsuit anyway. If I was going to go boating in the winter, I would get a dry suit, but not a wetsuit.
I've got an old pair of water shoes, you know how these?
I don't recommend those.
No.
They don't have good tread.
I was
They're
just
not
thinking for
supported.
in the boat then, no?
I wouldn't recommend it
they
because,
get sucked off.
yeah, the
Oh, they
tube,
get sucked off?
yeah,
Okay.
and it'll be slippery walking on the tubes.
Okay.
On the tubes, yeah, I wouldn't. Okay, so, how to pack your big bag. I like to pack so that when I get to camp, I can go to the top layer of stuff and pull stuff out right away that I want, right away. So, I have a separate little bag for that. My daughter got me this, you don't need anything quite so fancy, or you don't need anything at all. But I just pull this out right away, and I have my first aid kit if I need it, if I bruise something. I've got extra cord for the tents if I need it, because sometimes there isn't quite enough cord. If you do put up a tent, no matter what the conditions are, tie down every corner, because you don't know if the wind can pick up. And I have seen tents somersaulting down the beach. So always, if you put up a tent, make sure you tie it down. So either tie it to shrubs or trees, or if there are no shrubs or trees available, tie the cord around some big rocks and then bury the rocks in sand. So what else I have? I have...
Do they provide stakes with the tents?
Stakes are no good in sand. Don't even bother with stakes. Yeah, they do have stakes, but they're not sand stakes. So usually when I get to camp,
What
if
do you
I'm...
tie down to?
Pardon?
And what do you tie down to?
Rocks.
Rocks or trees or
So
shrubs.
you start to bring your
bucket.
own.
You bring your own rope. There is
Rope
cord.
I have, yes.
There should be cord attached to every attachment point on the tents, but sometimes it's not quite long enough, so I just bring extra. And I have my shampoo, conditioner, and body wash. If I'm gonna take a bath, that's when I'm gonna do it.
Now, you pulled out a first aid. Don't they have first aid?
They do have first aid,
if
but
you
you're not
want
gonna wanna
things
bother the
special-
guides if you just need a Band-Aid or something. So I've got Band-Aids and I've got some waterproof tape and duct tape. Duct tape's wonderful.
So we don't need to bring, you have.
Good
Good for you, Australia, fine jam.
So
And this stuff is great. This is called New Skin. It's a liquid bandage. It's especially great if you get, finger
Splits,
cuts. Yes, splits in your fingers. And then I've got some Neosporin, and that's what I have. And this is my little personal first aid kit. And what else? Oh, I have my towel and washcloth. This is a camp towel. It's one of those microfiber quick dry things.
Is that all you take for a towel?
That's,
Just that?
it's a full bath size towel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
But you
snap
just
it.
take one and...
I just take one. And then I've got a little collapsible bucket and camp soap for doing laundry.
Laundry.
I don't bring enough undies for the whole trip. And
That's funny.
vacation.
I'm with Susan on this one.
Every day you are going to have wet clothes. Every single day you're going to be soaked in the rapids. So I bring clothespins to hang stuff up in trees and shrubs.
That I can grab about.
Yeah. So I used to bring the plastic, the old-fashioned plastic clothespins, but they always break. So I got these cool metal ones that are
Where did you go?
coated in plastic.
Ace has those.
Bells,
Ace has them? I think I got these
TJ
from Camp
Maxx,
more years ago.
Marshalls.
So
Amazon.
these are great. These will not break.
They're good.
Where did you get your little bags that you're using?
This?
The little
These?
net
Oh, these are
bags.
great. I don't
I
remember.
know.
I got them for years. Probably
Oh,
Campmore. Campmore.com has everything. All these little doodads and stuff. Not river gear so much. And then also what I have.
What was in that black one?
Shampoo, conditioner,
Oh, okay.
and body wash. And then finally, toilet paper for night use. Now, when we get to camp, you're going to have a stack of these. This one's kind of squishy. This is your pee bucket. You don't have to use it at night if you don't want to, but if you don't use this, you must go down to the river to pee. So pee is only allowed in the river.
Can't be in the sand?
10 minutes in your duffel, in your big unaccessible
Yes.
dry bag.
But it's on top, so I can just grab it out.
Right. I understand the organization part, but it's nothing, it's what you're going to use when you're setting up camp, in camp.
No fresh, dry undies in there.
Oh, well, that's in my big dump. Yeah. So this is your pee bucket. There'll be a stack of them. You grab one. I gotta tell you that there have been places I've camped in the canyon where it is downright dangerous to go down to the river at night to pee. Either huge rocks that you have to navigate in the dark to get down to the river, or a steep slope, or not even a slope at all, but a steep bank. And the only place pee is allowed is the river, period. Do not pee even on wet sand. The pee must go in the water. You can be standing on wet sand, as long as you're one way or the other, the pee gets in the water. Don't pee in the wet sand. So use this at night, and that's why I have toilet paper available, at least the ladies, this is more important. So I took the core out of small toilet paper rolls so I could squish up.
Let me share your video.
I sent her
Miriam made a video on how to get the cardboard out of the middle.
Okay. And I have Ziplocs in here, so I put the toilet paper in at night. And in the morning when I'm packing up camp, the Ziploc goes in the trash. And I've got a little, Purell. So that's all that I keep right on top of my duffel. And it's easy to get to. I told you I'm very, very
Now, do we keep our pee bucket for the week?
Oh, no, let me explain that. So,
You only get to fill it once.
in the morning, once it's daylight and it's not unsafe to go to the river, then you pee in the river. You take this down to the river, you dump it, you wash it out in the river water, then you bring it back to where they're stacking it up. They'll have a spray bottle of bleach solution. And you spray it out and stack it up. And then next camp.
I assume they provide toilet paper at the solid waste station.
Yes, they do. And at the solid waste station, the solid waste station is called the Groover.
Yeah.
What it basically is it's a big ammo box with a toilet seat, with a closing lid on top. They put in a secluded area, usually with a wonderful view of the river. But don't tarry, because chances are there's going to be people waiting in line.
Oh, yeah.
So, and they'll give us the entire Groover talk when we get to camp the first night. There'll be a wash station where that's where you will wait to go to the Groover, and then there will be a key there. The key could be a little plastic container of toilet paper, it could be a seat cushion, whatever the key is, You carry that to the groover with you. Do whatever you're gonna do. Carry it back to the wash station. Because if it's not there and somebody is waiting to use the groover and the key is at a groover that isn't being used, they're gonna be waiting long.
So
This
that's-
is sort of like an occupied or unoccupied
That's
time.
exactly what it is, yes.
How many groovers are there for 27?
Usually just one.
Okay.
There are multiple, they carry multiple groovers because they get filled in a couple of days. So they have multiple ones, and then when one's full, they'll pack it away and pull out another one. And the guides take care of the groover.
So Jan, more specific for everybody else. You get up in the morning, you eat, you drink your coffee, you get the urges. Now, you need to take care of your urine before you go up to poop.
No. With women, it's a different story than it is for men. Because our
So,
physiology
be
is
specific.
different. Okay, so they will probably, and I'm almost 90% sure, they will have a pee bucket by the groover there. So if it's at all possible, ladies, pee first, then use the groover. Sometimes it is impossible, and then you just pee in the groover. They know that. So chances are there'll be a pee bucket there, there'll be toilet paper there. If you want something besides toilet paper, like the wet booty wipes, I would suggest bringing a packet of those with you. And make sure they're the flushable kind that can go in the groover. Okay,
Is
so.
it out in the open? Is that part of the modesty thing? Or is
No,
there
no, it's
privacy curtain around it?
There's no privacy curtain, but it's in a secluded spot that's away from everybody else. So, no
There is
worries.
privacy.
There have been occasions where you get a nice view of the river, but anybody down in the water has a view of you too. So there's been one or two times
Just
in
wait.
16 years that I'm sitting there and a boat comes by. Well, I don't initiate the waves.
All it does is bring attention to what you're doing.
Okay, so the rest of the stuff that I bring, stuff to sleep in. I'm not going to wear my wet clothes at night. They're going to be hanging
Now,
out
this
to
is
dry.
the big dry bag.
This is the big dry bag. So,
I like those big zipper bags.
yeah, these are great. I have so many different sizes of zippers.
Want stock in,
Yeah, and the
Now,
zip
this
lock.
is one thing you might even want to have in your day dry bag during the day. Guys, too, is a sarong. This is one of the most useful things. If it's hot during the day, you can wet it down and wrap yourself in it or put it over your legs. At camp, you could dress up. Where does it skirt? This is just one of the most useful things. So I always bring a sarong. This is a good one. It's got and so I like getting changed at camp, not wearing what I wear during the day. So I have a lightweight short sleeve top. You can see I'm color coordinated here. Short sleeve top. I call these my sleep shorts. These are just little lightweight workout shorts. Sports bra.
And how much is that's your one wardrobe right there, or do you have duplicates of things?
I don't carry duplicates except shorts and bathing suits. I carry two.
So that's what you wear
This
every
is
night?
what I wear at
Every
night.
night.
Okay.
Yeah, now, if it's a cold night, I might just put a little extra on. So I'm bringing a base layer, so the tights and the top. If it's cold at night, I'll put this on. And
what is it?
it's a base layer, it's a long johns.
So long johns.
So it's,
Silks.
no, these are not, but silks are fine. These aren't silk, these are the mid-weight ones.
So it's 60-ish at night?
I don't know what it's going
Hard
to
to
be.
say.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I've had a couple of trips in September where the first two nights I was freezing, it was raining, and then the rest of the time was hot. So I'd rather have stuff
Have both.
with me and not need it
Yeah.
than need something and not.
At night.
So I also bring here. Okay, so this is my second pair of shorts and bathing suit. I have a fleece top. Again, in the evening if I'm really cold, but it's not cold enough for a jacket. It's a pretty lightweight fleece top, but I have a fleece jacket. So this is if I'm really cold. And I keep the gloves in the pockets. And so this is a fleece zip-up jacket. I will never be without a jacket again.
Where you had the little lightweight hoodie in your day thing?
Yeah, that's real lightweight.
Yeah, but a long sleeve t-shirt would work or whatever.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to keep yourself covered from the sun.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
long
okay.
sleeves. I also have a pair of long pants. So these are lightweight hiking pants, quick dry. And a long sleeve, quick dry, really lightweight shirt. And this shirt is just to wear. There's 3 videos, but we're gonna have a bunch. So I've got a really lightweight, long sleeve, quick dry shirt that I have as well. And, oh, very, very important. The day that we do Lava Falls, there are some serious traditions that we really should follow. Lava Falls is the second of our last full day on the river. And it's the biggest rapid in the canyon. It's huge, it's gigantic. And we want to make sure that the river guides are appeased. So we wear Hawaiian, something Hawaiian. Okay. If you don't have something Hawaiian and you don't want to put out a lot of money, go to a thrift shop and see what you have. If you still don't want to do that, I'll take care of you. We will be protected.
T-shirt or
The
what?
tiki gods will be coming after us.
I got my shirt on one eye.
More clothing items, undies, and these I just wear at camp because I'm wearing a bathing suit during the day. Some extra hiking socks and a pair of fleece socks if it's cold at night. And an extra hat, just in case mine gets lost. And this is probably overkill, but I've needed it before, a fleece hat and scarf. They don't weigh much. Okay.
It's just like Santa Claus here. It keeps going.
Okay, so some very, very important things. I have different bags to distinguish everything. Headlamp. You can use a flashlight if you don't have a headlamp, but then you're tying up a hand. And there are times when you're going to the groover and it's dark. You want to have your hands free because of, having to go over rocks or whatever. So I use a headlamp. Make sure you bring extra batteries. In fact, I even bring a backup headlamp. And
I would recommend 2 headlamps.
yeah, I have a backup headlamp. This is attached with a duct tape. And extra batteries for the headlamp. Extra batteries for the headlamp. Now, this is something special that I have because there have been times at night where I get up in the middle of the night to use the groover and I might have had a little bit too much wine and I kind of lose my way going back to my campsite. So, I have a little solar light. I turn this on.
Having too much wine.
I turn this on when I leave my campsite and it's dark. That way, it's a beacon. So I can find my campsite. Since I've gotten this, technology has improved so much, and there are these great little, lights that you can get.
You just turn your flashlight on your phone and leave it there.
That's a good idea
Assuming
too.
your battery is
But I got
still
this years before
Yeah.
there were cell phones. So,
good.
yeah,
It's
make
been
sure.
lost before.
Yeah, make sure I have. Make sure you have.
GPS.
would.
No
I
GPS.
won't use it. It's just-
Bob's headlamp that I'm using clips on the edge of a hat.
I mean, you
Okay,
gotta
but
wear
then
your
you have
hat
to put your hat
hat on to go to the toilet.
Okay, well, I was thinking about security of it.
Oh, this isn't an elastic band. It doesn't fall off.
So you can just put your flashlight by your solar light,
Yeah.
flashlight by your camp.
Yeah. Now, it's not anything you have to do.
Right, but
Yeah.
that makes sense, but I wouldn't have to get a
And
solar
then,
light.
my little,
Oh, boy.
That's fine.
my little wine glass. Honestly, I'm not much of a drinker. These, yeah, I bring my own ARR mug because they have the handles and the new ones don't. But that's, yeah.
maybe somebody put in the suggestion box that they didn't like the handleless ones, and so maybe
Right.
this year they'll have handles.
You know, I don't know what they look like. I don't know what they look like this year. But I know they redesigned them last
People
year.
complain.
Okay. And things in here. So I've got an extra pair of sunglasses, an extra pair of reading glasses. I have a pair of reading glasses in my backpack. I've got a Sharpie in case I need to remark something. And this stays in the bottom of my pack. I already have my tips for the guides ready. So cash is very important. I have some extra pink ribbon. I've got an extra sunglasses retainer. And this is that clip I was talking about that has clips on both ends. So if you're wearing a baseball hat or a hat that doesn't have a retainer, you can clip one end of the hat and one end of your shirt.
I have a question about the glasses holder. You wear regular glasses. You wear them on the boat.
Well, I don't because I can't hike in them because they're the
Trifocal.
yeah.
Well, these are trifocals. They also go dark in the sun. So they're my sunglasses as well.
Okay.
But if I'm constantly getting wet, I don't have any windshield wipers
Well, I always keep a bandana in my pocket.
to dry.
Yeah, always have a bandana. And then this is what I'll store my cell phone in at the bottom of my pack. And then I have a little wallet that I'll have cash in. If we're able to stop at Phantom Ranch, and I'm not optimistic that we will, you're going to want to have a wallet with money available in your day bag. The reason I don't think we'll stop at Phantom Ranch is that it's a very short trip. And it's only 7 days. We don't have an exchange, which means we don't have half the people just doing the upper half of the canyon and hiking out. We don't have a group coming down. So at best, my guess is that we'll stop at the boat beach at Phantom Ranch just to fill up the water tanks. But if we do have an opportunity to stop, you're going to want to have a little money with you because it's about a half a mile walk to the cantina at Phantom Ranch, and they have lemonade there. You can buy postcards and stamp it with a stamp that says "Mailed by Mule" from the bottom of the Grand Canyon. You know, they have candy bars, they have bandanas, they have T-shirts that you can only get at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
So can you bring a credit card?
They took cards when I was there.
Did they? See, I've only used
Yeah.
cash there, so I don't know.
And so if we put our credit cards and cash, our IDs and things in our chest baggie, that'll be secure.
Yeah, I keep it at the bottom of my dry bag, and in a Ziploc so stuff doesn't get all
You'll
over
need
me.
your ID for the plane ride back, won't you?
You know, that I don't know.
I think I read
But, okay,
that.
but speaking of the plane ride back, we're gonna be helicoptered out of the canyon, that mile, approximately mile 188, near Whitmore Camp. It's a 7-minute helicopter ride. It's really great. It's thrilling. It's a lot of fun. And they take you to Bar 10 Ranch, which is on the inner North Rim, and they have showers there. So you're going to want, and you'll have your dry bag with you, but you're going to want to be able to grab stuff quickly out of the dry bag. Oh, wait a minute. Do you have your dry bags now? I don't know, because I always have my own dry bag. At that point, they might have given you garbage bags to transfer your stuff to, and then you leave the dry bags on the boat. I think that's how it works. But at the top, you're going to want to have your shampoo and your soap and stuff because they have showers, and there will be time to shower.
And do you have extra clothes to put on, like fresh clothes to?
I just put on my least dirty clothes.
Gotcha.
I only wear my Hawaiian shirt one day, so that will be my least dirty shirt. And my long pants, I probably would not have worn that much, so I would wear those.
Now, we're getting our cars at the Marble Canyon
At Marble
Lodge,
Canyon.
and how do we get over?
Okay, they're going to fly us back and fix wing craft from Bar 10 Ranch, where they have an airstrip, to Marble Canyon. Yeah.
So one's a helicopter and one's
So we
a...
get 2 rides that day?
Yes, we get 2 air rides that
Come out of
day.
the North Rim.
Well, this is the inner North Rim. It's
Oh,
not
okay.
North Rim.
Okay, that's why I read you need your ID for the airline, because they
So-
treat it like a a normal airline.
But you're gonna have all of your stuff available to you at
Yeah.
that point anyway, so.
So do bring your ID.
Yeah, well, you're gonna want it anyway, you'll need your driver's license. Bring ID, bring cash for tips, bring cash or credit card for Phantom Ranch if we have an opportunity to go there. And then I just sent an email this morning about the possibility of a farewell lunch on the way back at Cameron's, because they can accommodate a group of
saw
ourselves.
Jan, to double back, can we take the bag that we bring our stuff with to, well, we can't, the lodge? Can we stuff that bag inside of the
The big dry bag.
big dry bag?
Yes, yes.
So you don't have to unload that?
No, you don't, yeah, it'll just go right in.
How long are we there at that ranch?
It depends on what their flight schedule is.
Because I met at Hassan's house, he had friends over who had finished the trip, but not with our group. And they had only 40 minutes there. So those two women decided that they would be stinky on the way home because they wanted to shop.
That's a possibility. I don't know what their flight schedule is. What I'm hoping is that they will have 2 planes available to accommodate all of us and fly one out right after the other, so that the first group that arrives does not have to wait long for the second group, because we're all carpooling. But it's not a guarantee.
But then the other thing is that second little plane out. Did I read that there was a weight limit in what you can take on that plane?
Well, what we have. Yeah. I know they have one 19-seater, and there's 28 of us. So if that plane is available and they have another plane that can seat 9 with baggage, that would be ideal. But I don't know for sure if that's going to happen.
How big is the shuttle? How many people?
It will hold 4 or 5 people depending on the weight of the people.
The shuttle.
Yeah, because they will ask your weight, and if you're not honest with them, they'll say, no, this is how much you weigh.
Jan, I have a question about, I wear contact lenses. And I can sleep a minute if I have to, but I prefer not to. So my question is, I know it's dry, but how bad is it as far as like getting sand in the lenses?
That's the problem. I've known people wearing contact lenses, and if the wind picks up, there's sand everywhere. And I've known at least 2 or 3 times people have gotten sand under the lenses. And they have really
But is that when they're on the raft or when they're back at the camp?
It can be either. If the wind is really bad, there's sand everywhere, but especially at camp. You'll be eating sand and chewing on sand for several
Well,
days.
because that's what I'm thinking, I can get off the boat and take them out.
Yeah, you know, it's your comfort level. If it was me, I wouldn't wear contacts.
That's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Well, Carol Martin, the optometrist, was going to go with us, but
That's right.
canceled. And at that time that I signed up, I was wearing contact lenses, and I said, what am I gonna do about this?
Well, I
And she
see
said-
so much better with the contacts than I do with glasses.
Well, I do
That's-
too, but she said, Marion, you're not gonna be reading, and everything is far away, so don't worry about it. She said,
Well,
just
now-
wear glasses, so.
Now, some people do like to bring books to read. I have done that, and I have found, this is just me personally, I never get around to reading.
I had a friend who took a book, and she said she had a little light so she could read, and there were so many little moths flying around her. And she said she couldn't see the book for the moths. She said after the first night she didn't bother.
Miriam, if you can find the headlamps that have a red light, and you can get them at Walgreens. They're red, they're normal.
Oh, and they don't attract bugs.
It doesn't attract bugs, and that is where
Mine
there's a
comes
commission
with-
on the river.
Mine comes with that.
Yeah, mine
It's
has the red light.
It's like multiple lights. Every time you hit the button, it changes from
But
1
not
to
all
2
of
to
them
4 to
do.
red.
And just because you're buying a package of them and one is red, doesn't mean it has a red light. You have to read.
$14 at Walmart.
Yes.
Yeah, mine has the red light, and it's really nice to have that if you're looking at somebody and talking to them, because if
They
it's
won't
not
be
the red
blinded.
light, you're gonna be blinded. So that's really nice to have.
Thanks for reminding me.
And a journal. I don't know, I like journaling on my river trips and then going back and
I saw your journal in the back of one of those bags, Jan.
Yeah, well, this is, have journal and colored pencils.
yeah, so at night instead of reading, you write in your journals.
Now you know, I've chartered quite a few geology trips, So I'm always taking notes and drawing diagrams of what I see, so that's why I always have this. And I usually keep, in fact, I should put this in my backpack. This will go in the backpack. Okay, and then the final thing, toiletries. This is my toiletry kit. I've got my night socks and gloves that I put on after I lotion up.
Now, where's this bag? This is in your big.
This is my dry bag,
big-
my big one, because I don't need it during the day. Vitamins, medication, if you need that, make sure you have it. And I know the ARR guidelines say give some to the guides in case you lose some. So I've never lost anything, but I don't give it to them. You know, just my little personal lotions and stuff, and my drops. Toothbrush, bring a family toothbrush. Compulsive. Deodorant. Now this is my day use hand lotion and my night use. I'm not bringing those two big tubs, so I just have smaller ones. Booty wipes. Wet ones if I don't feel like washing in the freezing cold river. Make sure they're wet. I've got face wipes. I'll wash my face off. Some hair stuff. Got plenty of tissue. Extra sunscreen. Got a Tide to go. Like everything really disgusting. Cortisone. Some, a few little medication things. Q-tips, some little cotton pads if I need them. And I think I have a little thing of alcohol. I think I had the alcohol in with my first aid stuff. Extra Ziplocs, nail file, little tiny sewing kit.
You're really roughing it, girl.
You know what? Being comfortable down there is really important because it's not a comfortable trip.
Yeah.
You're just not comfortable, so I believe in comfort.
Not the Holiday Inn.
No, it is not the Holiday
But
Inn.
I guess I'm comfortable with, I must be a real grunge.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
You can be as grungy as you want down there. And that's what I got. Let me see. Oh, yeah.
I'm starving.
Okay.
Are we close?
We are very close, just about done now. So, what ARR will be providing? You'll get the you'll get the dry bags. And the dry bag, I already told you, your sleep kit. They'll also be providing cots, and they'll show you how to set up the cot. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to set up the first couple of times, but then you get the hang of it. They are very heavy-duty cots, and they're pretty much big enough for everybody. If you're extra tall, speak to ARR ahead of time, because I think they do have some extra long cots and extra long sleeping bags.
Boy, John is about
Yeah, he's very tall. And chairs. So once we get to camp, the first thing you're going to do is get off the boat with your stuff, go find your spot, and then come back down to the boats immediately. Drop your stuff because that marks that it's yours, and then come back down to the boats. That's when we set up the duffel lines. And if you have back problems or an injury or something and you can't lift and carry stuff, you will be forgiven for not being in the duffel line. But we need as many people as possible. Sometimes the kitchen is a long way from the boats because of a long slope. The kitchen needs to be in a flat area. So we need to stretch out the line, and everything must go up to the kitchen area. All the kitchen stuff goes up there. All the blue bags will be off to the side, all the dry bags, they'll be in a big pile. And they all look the same. So having your own little colored ribbon or cord or something on it really helps you pick it out fast. They're all numbered, you will have your own personal number. And it's best whoever is up at the end of the line setting down the bags to turn the bags so the number is up. It just makes it so much easier. Also in the duffel line, to save our backs, we get a line facing each other. So one person here, me here, another person here facing. So you're facing each other, it's a double line. That way you're not having to twist like this, but stuff just goes along this way. And especially helpful with heavy stuff. Not every, people don't normally stand like that with a duffel line, but it's truly the most efficient and easy way, especially with the heavy buckets of water. The water buckets will be the last things that go up. So they always ask for 1 or 2 volunteers to be in the river to scoop up water in the buckets, and then the water buckets go up. Those are probably the heaviest things. So if you're close enough, it's just, you're passing it down. You're not even barely lifting it. So duffel line's really important. Then you can go back to your campsite. Well, you get your blue bag, you pick up your cot, go back to your campsite, set up your camp. And if it's beautiful and you don't really need a tent, then you don't have to carry those heavy tent bags on. Oh, they are heavy. So are the chair bags. Because the chairs are heavy, they're heavy duty. Once you set up camp, come on back to the kitchen area, help set up the chairs. We always do a big circle so everybody's together. I suggest not taking chairs back to your campsite, but having them all in a big circle.
Did we sing Kumbaya?
When we get off the boat, if it's clear, do they know what the weather's gonna be like overnight?
Well, we have a full week on the river. So, and there's no cell phone reception down there.
No, so, yeah, the question is, how do we know not to put up a tent
That's up to you.
at that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's sunny and bright, I wouldn't put up a tent. Now, I've been caught a few times in the middle of the night
That's
not
what I'm
having put up a tent, and it starts raining. Now, some people lay out their tarp and they put all their stuff on the tarp and the cot on the tarp. That's fine, but then the tarp is not really handy to throw it over you at night. I have stopped putting out the tarp at all. I just don't put out the tarp. My dry bag sand is not going to get inside it when it's closed. So I just leave it in the sand, and then I have the tarp right by me in case it does start raining. Even if you weren't expecting, throw the tarp over me.
We're still in monsoon season.
Yeah, still are in monsoon season,
So
although it's,
What do you think about, like, we talked about, a couple of us talked about setting up a tent? Maybe just one tent for 2 or 3 people just to change in.
you can do
Or
that if you
two.
want. I change in my sleeping bag.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Makes
I'm
sense.
sleeping in a tent.
That's fine. You
So
can,
if it rains, come on over, but I'm sleeping in a tent.
no, tent is great for privacy, but if it's really hot outside, it's even hotter inside the tent. But yeah, if you want that privacy, fine. It's just that it's more effort to put it up. When you get to camp, even though you may not have done that much during the day, you're exhausted. Just, carrying the duffel line, dragging your stuff up to camp. More often than not, you will have to go up a slope of sand to get to wherever your camp is, your campsite is. And that's tiring. It's really tiring carrying, your heavy stuff.
Janet, you can keep going.
Okay.
I'm sleeping in a tent.
I'm with you.
Yeah, anybody who sets up a tent, you're responsible for putting it up yourself. You're responsible for taking it down the night. That's all.
And then can your sleeping bag go right on the sand, or do you put it on a cot?
Put it on a
Okay,
cot.
so you have a cot and then
Just give us a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
And you said the cots are like 4 inches off?
So this is the ground. They're about so high.
That's quite high.
Yeah. And there's room to even, put stuff underneath the cot, unless you're sagging pretty well.
Where do you brush your teeth before I forget?
At the river.
Same place you pee.
Same place.
That's a brush your teeth before you pee.
Okay, got it.
Be sure to be upstream when
I'm
You
you
kidding.
don't
I'm kidding.
have to brush your teeth over the river. It's just easiest because that's where you
I'm
spit.
just, I'm kidding.
Okay, so in the evening you set up your camp, chairs are up, come on back to the chair circle. Chances are there will be hors d'oeuvres already there. It could just be crackers and cheese, but it could be smoked salmon, you just never know. And bring your wine and your drinks out. It's a good time to socialize. And anybody who would like to help in the kitchen, ask the guides if you can help. More often than not, they don't want you there because you're in there. But sometimes they welcome help with chopping onions and peppers and zucchini and all that stuff. The food is great. You will not go hungry. Do not plan to diet down there. There will be snacks available all day long on the boats. Trail mix, apples, oranges, candy bars. So you won't go hungry. And then in the morning, as soon as you wake up,
About what time is that?
well, they want us to be on the boats usually by 8. The last morning it might be earlier, but usually they want us on the river by 8 o'clock. I have an internal clock. I wake up before the dawn. I probably wake up when I hear the first canyon run. I don't know, but I get up early, start my morning routine, my exercises, just so I not walking like this.
Yoga, I did it for
And,
yoga.
wash my face and all that, get dressed and start packing up. So as soon as you're up, you start packing up. Usually around 6 o'clock, you'll hear coffee, and that's when you know the coffee's ready. So you go down, get your coffee, your hot water, whatever, bring your coffee back to your campsite, finish packing up and start carrying stuff down. The tent, the cottage, your dry bags. And then probably before you're done there, you'll have breakfast. You eat your breakfast, you go back, finish packing up, bring it all back down to the boats, and then you're on the boats for the day.
Well, we feel like, I think I move pretty relatively quickly, at least moderately. So will we feel like rushed in the morning or just?
It depends on how early you get up.
Well, I wake up usually like you, I usually wake up around 5 or 5:30, but I don't get up. But that's when I first wake up, and then I'll doze and doze and doze. That's for however long. But you know.
You'll know after the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, if they're yelling coffee and you're still in your sleeping bag, you will probably feel a
Rushed.
little rushed, maybe not so. If you're like me, I hate being the last person down. And there's always somebody who's the last person down.
Sure.
It's just wonderful if it's not always you.
And how many hours of each day are you on the river?
Average, you're probably around 4 hours a day on the river.
Okay.
Some a little longer, some a little less.
So we're not on the river very long before we put in for lunch and then.
It just depends on it depends on the conditions and how many other people are on the river. Camps are first come, first served. There's no reservations for camps. So you'll find the guides, when we see other groups on the river, the guides, especially our trip leader Jake, will be talking to other trip leaders on the river saying, hey, where would you like to camp tonight? This is where I'd like to camp. And there's negotiation. Sometimes you don't get the camp you want. Or sometimes when you get there and you think it's yours, there's a group of backpackers there. And you don't share camps. It's kind of a no-no unless it's an emergency sort of thing. Tony was on one of my trips where we got to this campsite that we really wanted. Huge campsite, can easily sleep 35 people. Big campsite. And it's a really nice one too. There was a group of 4 or 5 backpackers there. Said, no, we don't want to share. We offered them dinner. Nope, we offered them beer. They did not want to share. So disappointed as we were, we went down there. So,
It's not gonna be.
we're not going to have a full moon.
No.
Okay, even though you're not, because I bring the night shades for eyes because we're sleeping out, and I'm really sensitive to lots of light.
I think the
It just
full
helps
moon
me.
occurs on us.
It's the 4th or 5th. something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
before our
Anyway, it's very, really,
So it'll be small by the time.
okay, probably not, but
Okay, are there any other questions? Everybody's hungry.
We know
Yes.
not what we know
Yes.
not, so we
Okay.
can't ask questions.
All right, I'm going to clear everything off the table. So 8 of us can easily fit around this table. I've got some TV trays there if you want to use it. There's also chairs outside. So I'm just going to, who has my river guide?
Oh.
It's on the table.
There you go.
Okay, can you pass it back this way?
No, right there.
Right there in your
Oh,
lap.
here it is, thank you. All right, so I'm going to clear all this stuff off.
Get used to it.